So mistake number one, emphasizing features instead of benefits. And people that I know that have been in sales, oh yeah, I know that, or in marketing, I know that. Yes, of course, you're supposed to do that. But when I go in and work with a team and we listen and we start practicing conversations, they're just talking about the features of the product all the time. They're hardly ever talking about the benefits, even though they're full-time professionals. So that's why I wanted to focus energy on this one specifically. This is where I'm going to spend the most time because I think it's the biggest game changer that you can implement right away. First of all, I want to give you this example, which I really like. And it's to emphasize the difference between features and benefits and what I call desired customer experience. It has to do with the history of advertising from the standpoint of SUVs, like Jeeps. So initially, when they had commercials for Jeeps on television, there was, believe it or not, there was a spokesperson in the showroom, and he was pointing to the Jeep, and he was saying, this is ruggedly built. It has independent front suspension and four-wheel drive. You can take it off the road. So, you know, maybe you can tell that he's mainly talking features now. He's talking about what the product consists of. He's not talking about what you can really do with it. Then it morphed a little bit. Then we started getting people in F-150s and going over gigantic boulders, you know, the rocks like this, and so yeah, you say, well, it can definitely go off-road. That's for sure. But do I go over those kind of boulders? I'm not sure. But they're really trying to make the point that you could go off-road and go where you want. And so that was the next iteration. Okay, now we're beginning to work the benefit in a little bit, right? Now what you see is beautiful young men and women in an SUV, a Jeep or something like that, and they're kind of rocking back and forth, and you can see some nature scenes in the background. You know they're going off-road someplace, and so yeah, we're getting the image, you're off-road, and they're laughing and having a great time, and then the scene shifts, and it's nighttime, and you're looking at them sitting around a campfire, roasting marshmallows and laughing, and in the background is the Toyota 4Runner or the Jeep or whatever it is. You get the difference? I mean, now we're talking about what I call desired customer experience. So there's features, and then these features have their benefits, and eventually you get to something. If you keep going, and we're going to do an exercise on this, if you keep going down through different levels of benefits, this benefit has more, these resulting benefits, which has the resulting benefit of this, and then we ask ourselves finally, what is the core of what people are wanting to experience? That is what I call the desired customer experience.
Well, another example I think is, which I'm actually impressed by, how they've gotten to the core of it, is the Corona commercials, where you're always at the beach. I mean, you know, who doesn't want to be at the beach? Why are we living here? I mean, you can be at the beach, and so they're essentially saying you can be at the beach anytime, no matter where you are. And to me, that's the desired experience. You know, you want to relax, you want to socialize, you want to feel like you're at the beach. I mean, they're getting crystallizing exactly what people want out of using their product. That's the bottom line. So I think this is really brilliant. And hey, maybe we can do that, right? Maybe we can do that with our product. We can identify it. Let me give you another example. I'm working with a speakers bureau here in town, and we're looking at what's people's desired experience. We're trying to get to that. And we thought about, okay, when you're hiring a speaker to come in and deliver to executives or an audience, you know, you feel like your neck is a little bit on the line. What if they bomb? Oh my gosh, I mean, that's not going to make you look very good in the company. So what we, at some point in the conversation, you can't always use the desired experience right at the front of the conversation. You got to figure out where to use it. At some point, we would say something like this. So I consider it my job to make sure that you get the perfect speaker. That people are coming up to you afterwards and saying, wow, that was awesome. So, you know, so that you're a hero of the company. So we actually say that because isn't that what they really want out of all that? I mean, you know, the bottom line is that's what I want out of that. Now, if you say that like in the first sentence to them, they're going to say, what? You know, so it's way further in the conversation when you've built a connection, when you build a relationship, that you might say something along that line. So just to be clear what a feature and a benefit is, a feature is what your product does or has in it. Okay, for example, the iPad, it has a certain size screen and a certain screen resolution. Those are the features of the product. If you're a service provider, it's what you do as you provide your service. The specific things that we do. We train you in this, or I teach you the 5 steps of the selling process. That's like a feature. Now, what happens is that people think it is so clear to them what the benefit is of what they just said that they don't say the benefit. And first of all, people don't always know what the benefit is. And secondly, it completely changes the tone of the conversation when you start mentioning benefits. People have this feeling that comes over them. They start getting it on a gut level. Features are for the mind. Benefits are for the heart of the gut. That's why they say that features tell, benefits sell. Because it is definitely the benefits that are what sells. And so I think this is a good example. You have an iPad, you can talk about all the features of it. But down below, here's a person showing just a bunch of people, maybe some photos or video or something like that. You know, there's more like the desired experience, that you actually are able to share things with people and have a good time because you can show your photos and that kind of thing. So that's getting more into a benefit or the desired experience. And that's why people buy. It's not because of usually because of the screen resolution. So that's the difference. So what I want to do now is, my goal is that you actually leave with some things that you can apply immediately to your business. And so I've given you a worksheet. And we're actually going to take a little bit of time right now. And on the worksheet, you'll see that going across the top, there's feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. Now I'm just going to get you started on this. And so I only want you to work with feature number 1 and just think about your product or service. And I want you to fill in a feature of it and then a benefit below that. So here's the antidote to the mistake is weave benefit language into everything. Absolutely everything.